Welcome everybody. My name is Pritesh with KAIZN Crypto. In this video, I'm joined by the Adoja team. Adoja is an IoT company that is building blockchain-based solutions. This is a really interesting project. They've got some exciting announcements coming up. We've got Eric, Loris, Caleb, Lloyd, and Kyle from Adoja. Guys, thanks so much for joining. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Super. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, hanging in there.
Yeah, it's been an interesting time to be in crypto, that's for sure. Quite a crazy few days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm excited to chat with you about some of the things that you have coming up. To get things started, maybe we can go ahead and talk a little bit about what is Adoja and some of the problems that you guys are solving with IoT and blockchain.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Pritesh. Some of the basics on what Adoja is. It's a decentralized manufacturing hub, right? So the idea is that devices like 3D printers can, there's hobbyists that have them basically anywhere in the world. They're accessible now. They're inexpensive, and they can produce some pretty good results pretty consistently. So the thought behind what we would do with Adoja is tap into that market of all of these available printers and give them economic opportunities. Let them be able to print things for other people and get those things sent to those other people. So it's a really interesting. It's got lots of challenges in the middle there. There's some very interesting stuff that we're learning and growing with. We received some Catalyst funding for a couple of rounds now, both Fund 8 and Fund 9, to deliver parts of this marketplace. And we're happy that we're moving all of those balls forward and getting that done. And we'll have some proof of concept stuff coming up here that's going to take it to the next level and start showing people other than the team what this really means and what that really looks like.
Okay, that's exciting. I know that you guys also had booths at CNFTCon, at Rare Bloom. So it was exciting to chat with you guys there and just see some of the concept that you had laid out. I think it's a neat idea that, you can take a 3D printer. And if you think about the website, I think it's called Thingiverse or one of those websites where you can find like the PSD file for any of these items which you could 3D print. Create an automated system where you can then just say, okay, I want to go ahead and send a payment to this 3D printer to have them create this object and then have it shipped to me. I think in terms of a business model, it's very viable what you guys are building. But then I'm really interested to learn more about how the blockchain aspects tie into that, in terms of being able to send or receive payments to any one of these IoT devices. What does that actually look like? Tell us a little bit more about some of the technical stuff.
Well, it's a complex smart contract process. So MVPs is going to be a little bit lighter than what we want to take to market, but the post MVP products, 15 different smart contracts or so all working together. There's QA involved. There's, kind of a quote RFQ system involved, where operators can, essentially bid on jobs in a way and users can accept them. And then you've got a whole nother component to it where designers can put their designs into this smart contract and get paid every time a design is printed too. So there's incentive for creators to create great things, right? Things that may not be available elsewhere. And you'll see some of this happening on Etsy or in other like kind of niche areas, but nothing to this caliber and certainly not in a decentralized fashion.
I gotcha. Okay. Now with Adoja, you guys are making this so that pretty much anybody can participate, right? So like, let's say, for instance, I've got a 3D printer at my house. I want to put that 3D printer to work. I'm passionate. I've got this thing sitting here and I want to make some money in the process. So what does it actually look like for somebody that wants to get started?
That's really kind of been like the fun aspect for me is, when we started off in this conversation, Pritesh, I was talking about back last year, getting with Kyle and we were pitching, we were going over concept and inception ideas of how Adoja was going to evolve to the next thing here. And he was like, hey man, I'm going to need to help kind of putting together a network of people. And I was like, all right, so well, the team at that time, we started reaching out to other people, and we didn't know Caleb. Caleb just was one of the guys who was like, hey man, I know a lot about 3D printing. Then he started to introduce us to a couple other people. And that's how we were been able to kind of build our little network. And right now we have people in at least about 6 different countries and throughout the United States, like right now in our network, that are ready to fulfill some of these prints that Lloyd was talking about. So that's kind of where, like, as of right now, kind of like the decentralized manufacturing comes in, is that, we're not a traditional manufacturer where I have a shop and, I'm going to stamp out all this stuff and then just do the fulfillment. If one of our customers is sitting over in like Germany or something like that, well, we have somebody in Europe that can make that print. Over the last year, we've been doing a lot of testing on the this rocket drop that we're going to be doing, so everybody's on the same page from quality and from materials and supply chain things that we've been trying to tackle. So in a very weird year to be handling supply chain, right? So
yeah,
it's had this been a different year, some of those barriers or roadblocks would not have been as challenging. But I think we're getting there. We're getting the team hyped up for this this rocket drop, and it's been pretty exciting. Like I said, it's it's been a haul, but we're definitely getting there.
Well, the demand for 3D printer operators to participate in such a system is definitely there. So that part of the market fit is there. We've confirmed that. We feel pretty good about that. And so now it's a matter of creating the opportunity and the jobs for them to print. So just onwards and upwards. We've got, the rocket drop we're doing is an NFT drop. They were rockets that were designed by real rocket engineers. These guys design rocket engines for pretty sophisticated, large rocket company, we'll just say that. But so we've got some good engineers on the team, and, they created this really cool NFT rocket that you can it prints out in multi-components, right? So you've got 7 different components, and it's like a Lego kind of thing where you snap it together. And so they made these really sophisticated joints, and each of the components of the rocket is unique. But the whole idea of this drop is to help us, basically stress test the printer operator network and learn a lot of things as we roll into a more post MVP product. So that's probably going to come the first week of December, that NFT drop. It'll be pretty cool. They're Space Coins rockets. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. We'll have
did it.
We're gonna have some more utility for Space Coins. We're gonna have some utility with the Adoja in there as well. And yeah, so that'll be cool. So
very nice. Okay.
So you
different.
it's a really cool 3D GLB, NFT. They look awesome, and you'll have the ability or the choice to print one. So you can buy up to 10 at a time, and you'll be able to choose if you want any of them printed and pay a premium and support the printer operator network.
So like just to get an idea of what that process looks like. So you would, I guess there would be some type of web page where you would go and I guess process a transaction. And
yeah, we haven't worked through the UX yet, so we don't want to commit it. But the idea is, you go to a website, you'll be able to select 1 or 10 NFTs, you'll make a payment, you'll be presented, like a 2D image of your NFT. This is ideally the NFTs that you purchased, and then you'll be able to effectively choose from the ones that you like to have printed, if any.
Okay.
And then pay a second price, right? And then you'd fill out your order details for shipping, because you need to know where they're shipped, and then we'll scramble on the back end to figure out how the heck to get you your rocket. And then in that scrambling, we'll learn a whole lot about how to programmatically tie that into the post MVP product. So that's kind of the idea.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's exciting, man. I think that this is a great way to be able to test how that process is actually going to look. And then I'm sure there's going to be many exciting things that you can do after that, once you've refined that process. Caleb, Loris, anything that you guys want to add in terms of your experience being on the Adoja team? What are some of the things that you guys are excited about with this rocket drop coming up?
Well, I'll answer your initial question of how do you get involved as a printer operator, just anybody that has one at home. Starting off with this first rocket drop, we have an internal team of rocket 3D printers that we've been testing with and doing all of the development with for the past 6 months. And I think, gosh, we've got at least 20 printer operators around the world in that network. So starting off, we're going to have just that core group as the printers. And that's like what Kyle said, that's the stress test. That's to really make sure that our processes are down and you know, this is that the product works the way that we intend, right? So then as a printer operator after that, for anybody coming in, that's at the later stage where anybody can plug into the network. And as a printer, you can come in and say, hey, I see these jobs in this marketplace. And this is all the way it's spoke. It's not set up right now. Like, we're still developing all this, right? But you'll be able to see jobs that you want to print, and you can pick by your location. We're hopefully going to have a rating system in there. So as somebody ordering a print, you can say, I want somebody that has a specific like 5-star rating or 4-star rating to print that.
Nice.
There's all these ideas going around of how do you do quality assurance in a decentralized way that, you know, it works, right? And that's a big problem, and that's part of what's solving, and where the blockchain comes into all that to help validate that and make sure that all the steps are done in the correct order throughout the whole process.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
that reminds me of a site. I'm sure a lot of people, especially content creators or freelancers, there's a site called Fiverr and or Upwork. I'm sure you guys have heard of that, where, you know, you basically have freelancers who can post a job. They've got a rating where they can, you know, get reviews. So it almost sounds like something like that, where you basically have a classifieds ad page for any of these listings that, you know, you can go and select and say, hey, I'd like this to be created. You know, you see the user profile, you see the reviews, and then in terms of the process of actually creating it, you know, then that's something done that on the back end, right? It's printed, then shipped to the customer. All right. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I really do enjoy the fact that, you know, this is all going to be decentralized as well. Now, in terms of some of that, you know, would it be up to the printer operator, once you guys have all of the things sorted in terms of the details, like, would it be up to them to fulfill the shipping and do all that kind of stuff?
Yep, that's all part of
Okay.
the quote. So that's the idea, is that you show up, it's like an Uber driver, right? You got someone who needs a service performed, you're going to show up and perform the service. You're going to do it well. And if you don't do it well, there's going to be consequences. There's collateral in the system. I mean, it's complex. It's a very complex model. And so we're going to be launching on Testnet, and we'll be running what's called an incentivized Testnet. And we'll open up the functionality to all types of participants, right? To printer operators, to designers, to regular users, and we'll incentivize interacting with the smart contract, but because they're with the platform. But because there's so many smart contracts, we want to get the functionality down right and fine-tuned before we pursue an audit cycle, because that's just a whole lot of work. So we'll be in testnet for probably at least 6 months. This is not something that we'll be able to rock along right away, but we have a plan between now and then to really incentivize designers to get their designs ready and that kind of stuff, and they can start monetizing those near term, and as well as 3D printer operators to give, you know, plans to get them their revenue flowing near term too, so they can be excited about participating. So, you know, we're putting all that in place so that those participants do have something to be excited about and look forward to all throughout the test net. So when we do hit production, we can come out running with a bang.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
and we are
gotcha.
doing this step by step, basically, you know, starting from small things and making sure that it works, because we are actually building quite a large scale product at the end in the future. That's why we are starting like step by step. You know, we even, you know, for the NFT for the rocket, you know, we have printed so many test variants, tried different joints, etc., from that partition, and then and also, you know, for the marketplace, there are a lot of, let's say, moving parts and involved many involved people who are, you know, working on this. So this is I'm excited, you know, already, even when we are just in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. It reminds me almost like the incentivized test net. You know, before we had Shelly and all that kind of stuff, staking on Cardano, it's like that testing period for all the stuff that you guys are building. So that's really exciting. You guys had also talked about Catalyst. Just real quick, your experience with that, and then you said Fund 8 and Fund 9. So congratulations on getting funding for Catalyst. What are some of the things that you guys have been building with that?
Oh, you're muted, Kyle.
Well, the entire project's been funded with the Catalyst funding. So this whole marketplace endeavor, And we received a little bit of Catalyst funding earlier on the IoT side. So we've pivoted since then into this whole massive printer operator. But Fund 8 was the majority of funds that Doja received, $275,000. And so that was for this post MVP marketplace, which we'll be releasing here soon, or for this MVP that we'll be launching here soon. So, and then this next funding is just starting to come through now, and that's going to take us through the next phases, marketplace upgrades. So, right, so the MVP is already funded, but now we're receiving funding to do upgrades to the marketplace and to enhance the feature sets. So that's what we're working through now, delivering those milestones. So it's allowed us to bring on some new talent. You know, we're contracting a product engineer, product designer to help us really design this out. Very talented product designer, and we're bringing on multiple development resources as well. So it's enabling us to attract more developers to Cardano as we move forward. So Catalyst has really been a godsend. It's extremely beneficial this time. It's
I can echo that sentiment, Kyle. You know, without Catalyst right now, just considering the markets, it's been rough. It's been rough, especially for businesses who are trying to get off the ground. And I think it's great that you guys have gone to Catalyst, been able to get funding. Here we are in this bear market, still able to build, you know, keep on innovating and creating new ideas.
Keeping the talent here is
the
hardest part about through all this. And that's, you know, we're blessed to have the talent that we do have here. So
nice.
Shout out our engineers are banging away right now. They're working hard. They don't have time for podcasts.
I've been dripping those Adoja tokens though on drip drops.
Yeah, you can get your Adoja tokens on drip drops, guys. Definitely. They're gonna come in handy here soon.
Can we talk a little bit about that as far as the token? You know, maybe some of the utility behind it. Like let's say for instance, I've got some Adoja tokens and I see a job, and you know what's the idea there?
So we're baking in the tokenomics. We haven't figured out exactly all the consumption points, but there will be consumption points throughout the platform. Initially, there's going to be a lot of incentives. You're going to get incentives for participating, right? When you buy something or when an order is completed, you know, you'll be incentivized through that. So that's another aspect. Once the incentives are gone, then we kind of focus on or as they're depleting, we kind of circle back and add consumption points. So that could look like maybe a printer operator gives you a discount, right, if you're paying in tokens and things like that. But you know, that's a little bit down the line because these have real material costs, and the printer operators need to compensate that cost in ADA. So but yeah, there'll be more incentives there. There's also going to be a governance aspect, right? Because you have to have a DAO. Like let's say you order something and you spent $100 on something and it came and it's just it's just horrible, right? It's not what you ordered. And you're a very upset customer. Who helps you, right? At some point, there needs to be human intervention. Somebody needs to say, wow, Pritesh, somebody really gave you a bad deal, man. We should probably get you your money back. Customer service, right, in a way. Like and so how do you build that into a decentralized ecosystem? You need reputations, right? You need parties to have collateral and that kind of stuff. So there's just a lot to it that we've got to work out. So it's a wild project. It's going to be fun though. So
yeah,
we're all excited.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. You know, I can't wait just to see the evolution and the growth of everything that you're building with this. I think it's going to be an entire ecosystem, and you know, you got the token to facilitate a lot of the transactions that are happening between users. In terms of some of the industries, like would you say, because I mean, we've got everyday mom and pop people, right? You know, just fans, enthusiasts, people who are just fans of 3D printer or blockchain or IoT. But from an enterprise level, you know, some of the different industries that you guys are thinking may potentially be disrupted with something like this. Are there any that you're thinking about?
Yeah, but it gets a little complicated. I just kind of want to walk back to the tokenomics aspect of it. You know, the governance aspect of the token, as we're fulfilling orders, you know, you siphon a little bit of the revenue into a treasury. we have to decide as a decentralized community how that treasury money gets spent, right? Who does support? Who's getting hired for support? Are they doing their jobs right? That kind of stuff. So that's the other aspect of the utility, is just being able to govern the protocol. Now back to industries and displacement. I mean, near term, it's more of a hobby industry and a way for entrepreneurs to create new revenue streams for themselves, right? New economic opportunities. So something that a regular user might want is, maybe you got a part in your vacuum cleaner that broke and you can't find this thing anywhere. These are some of the types of things that people design, that people 3D print, right? Maybe you just want some custom goofy looking coasters. Maybe you want some sort of thing where that you can organize tools or something very special, designs that, Caleb made some pretty dope speaker stands, just different stuff that you can't get in stores, right? So that's kind of the industry where we're coming at. If we were going to disrupt real industry, we'd have to manufacture our own 3D printer. And that's not out of the question, but that's serious money. Catalyst can't afford to fund that type of project. That's something that maybe comes down the road when the project's doing well and up and off the ground. But something like that would look like basically a 3D printer that could limit prints by the number of items purchased. And now you can really, really fuck some shit up. Excuse my language, but.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. Yeah, for sure. Do you guys, as far as the experience that some of the 3D printer operators have had so far, like, how's the community been? I mean, I know the Cardano community is amazing, but like in terms of some of the, like, is there a Telegram chat? Like where's everybody going to like communicate and keep up to date?
Yeah, we got a Discord server is probably the best place right now, right, Caleb? It's probably where most of the activity goes down.
Yep. So we got a Discord, and we've got that split up. So we've got a place for designers to come in. We've got a place for 3D printer operators. And then we've also got a place just for the people that want to come in to look at the NFTs that we're going to be having for the drop at the end of the month. So yeah, I encourage everyone to at least check out the Discord, especially for a 3D printer operator, because we are trying to build that community and build that network of printers, right? And especially once the product goes live, the more printer operators we have plugged into the network, the better. Because if we have people all over the world that are ordering stuff, and we've got ideas to implement printing NFTs in different ways, right? Because we are, a lot of us are plugged into that community. So like I'm involved in some stuff, and how can I bring those NFTs that I like into the real world? And maybe that's a product that we can help bridge a gap for, right? So yeah, check out the Discord. We've obviously got the Twitter that you can follow for Adoja as well. But yeah, those are the best places to keep up on what's going on.
And get some of the designers in place as well as we go into ITN as well.
Yep. We've got a couple 3D organic modelers in the group. A few of us are, like, I'm a machinist, so we've got a few of us in the group that do a lot of design-based CAD and whatnot. So yeah, they're
All right, nice. Yep. So for anybody watching who wants those links, I will be sure to link the Discord, the Twitter. Make sure you jump in there and feel free to ask any questions. I'm sure it's a welcoming bunch. Also, be sure to follow them on Twitter. I'm sure these guys are having a great time just chatting about what they're building. Guys, I'm excited to see what you guys have in place, especially for this upcoming rocket drop. Looking forward to that. Can't wait to try out the user experience, just going through the entire process of minting the NFT, getting the rocket. Are there any things that you guys wanted to share that we maybe haven't touched on yet? Anything that you guys are looking forward to that we haven't mentioned?
I'm sure there is. We've got so much going on. Yeah. No, we're doing okay. We're going to get the MVP out and the rocket drop out all around the same time. It's probably going to be the first week of December when it's all coming together. But yeah, no,
great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Yeah, I will mention if you're wanting to get into 3D printing and you've got no experience, the Discord is also a great place for that, because we've got 30 guys in there that all do 3D printing to different levels, and a lot of the members of the Adoja team actually didn't know anything about 3D printing, and
they just showed up, like Pekka Man, and he made these short bus star things for CNFT Con.
Oh, look at that.
Double color print.
Did it. That's cool.
It's so dope.
Actually, that's a great point, Caleb. Is like, we did have quite a few of us say, hey, I have a printer. I printed a couple things, or guys that were just generally interested in the project and bought printers in the beginning, had never ran one before, and now they're in the network. That we've trusted them. They've proven out some quality products for us. And I will actually openly say I'm in that boat. I did not own or ever print a 3D printer before 2022. So, and now my printer runs constantly every week right now. So it is a very exciting thing. There are very expert people within our network. So if you get into a problem, people start, shooting clips into our Discord, and people are there to help, So it's more than just, hey, I'm sitting here waiting for a job, right? It's a true network of collaboration and help, and we help each other out, get through things, and then we talk about different stuff of like planning, we talk about materials and like what other facets that we can go into, that Kyle kind of touched base too, is like there's so much opportunity once we get off the ground and start rolling into maybe outside industries, right? Like you see 3D or additive manufacturing being utilized in a lot of different areas now around the world.
Yeah, 3D printer is an easy way to make a little residual money too, extra money, not residual, but extra money in your free time. The printer works when it works. You don't sit there and watch it for 5 hours while it prints something.
Right.
Yep, I've got a few at home, and I'll set it up when I go to bed at night, and they'll run all night, and they'll run when I'm at work, and I get home, and boom, I've got some prints ready, and I can ship them out to some customers. So it is a nice little side hobby, and yeah, you can get real into modding them out and getting pretty fancy with your setups and stuff too. But that's a whole nother hobby in itself.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a cool network of competent printer operators ready to rock and roll. And then we're going to match make it with the NFT degen community, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that. Very cool. Well, all right, guys. Yep, I'm excited for it. Can't wait to see what you guys build. As far as what we've talked about today, thank you so much for coming on to the show and just telling us a little bit more details about the rocket job and some of the cool things that you guys have coming up. I think it's a great way for anybody who does want to keep on building during this bear market. Pick up a 3D printer. Like these guys are saying, no experience required. You've got an amazing community that you can reach out to and ask questions. So definitely be sure to check out those links down in the description, everybody. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time. I really do appreciate you guys coming on and chatting with us today. Wish you all the best with the rocket drop, and I hope we get to have a chance to speak with you all again soon.
Thanks for having us, Pritesh. It's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Yep, nice talking, Pritesh.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Good
Take
seeing
care,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
See you soon, guys. Bye.